variation on a prayer of the Wampanoag, the original natives of Massachusetts and Rhode Island. It's a Thanksgiving prayer. Let us give thanks to the Creator for all that He gives. The harvest moon has shined its brilliance over our home, and now we store the harvest of our work. And now as we store the harvest of our work, the earth will rest for the coming season. Great Spirit, we thank you today. Mother Earth, we thank you. Grandmother Moon, we thank you. Grandfather Sun, we thank you. We thank you for all our relations. May we be able to gain the peace that surpasses all understanding, and may we be able to call the Great Spirit to bless our cornfields and present-day achievement. Please be seated.
We're all about to celebrate Thanksgiving by recreating the original Thanksgiving in 1621, when Pilgrims and Native Americans shared turkey and pumpkin and corn. We generally celebrate by having many, many more things at the table and eating probably many, many too much. Well, that's a good one. Many, many too many things. Almost universal of Thanksgiving, the traditions have changed over time. People eat different things, people go to different places, and football seems to have been added to the celebration. Universal, however, is bringing together families. And I want to ask you to consider family and consider giving at this Thanksgiving time. I want you to consider giving your time. Time to your grandparents, time to your uncles, aunts, cousins who you may not see that often, even the one who took your toy truck when you were little. Consider what you can give them on this day, and it's your time. Let your grandparents tell you how much you've grown. Let your uncle pat you on the head. Let your grandfather do that magic trick again. Give your family this gift of your time. And particularly, bigger kids, turn off your devices and cell phones for a couple of hours. Will you try? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be able to speak at this chapel. For most of you, you know that I'm half Native American, and my tribe is in the southwest of the United States, in the northern part of New Mexico. So I was born on the Taos Pueblo. The Taos Pueblo is actually the Kiowa Nation, T-I-W-A. And so, not to be confused with the Teowa Nation, which is about half an hour south. So there are a lot of different Pueblo nations. Pueblo is a Hispanic word that means village. So we all live in our original villages, and Taos happens to be one of those places that is still standing in its original form, and a lot of our elders still live there. So that's a little bit about me, but I don't want to just go on about who I am and where my culture stems from, because really we're all just human. And I think that's the point of Thanksgiving, is that we come together like the original natives and the original white people came together to give thanks for all that they had. So what I need to do is I'm going to begin with a reading from Ecclesiastes. Okay, a lot of you might be familiar with this because it was made famous by a band in the 60s called Birds. They did a song called Turn, Turn, Turn. So I'm going to read from this, and then I'm going to give a little bit of what I think about Thanksgiving. Okay? So in Ecclesiastes 3 it says, there is a time for everything, a season for every activity under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh. And that ends, I'm going to end right there at verse 5. And it goes on, it's a very, very long scripture. That sort of illustrates for us the balance in the world around us and within ourselves. So that starts me off with where I wanted to go with my culture. Our elders, since I was a child, have emphasized balance in life. To see that when something is going well doesn't mean that something might not turn around and go badly the next moment, but that we should never give up. And that drew me towards my own personal faith and understanding. So that's why I love turning to that part of the word, because it illustrates for me exactly who I am as a person and what my world is around me. So I want to start also with a prayer that I wrote, okay? And this is sort of a prayer that speaks to my people and my thanks for all that I have for our school and all of you. We give you thanks, great Creator, for all of our blessings. We thank you for our mother, this earth who provides all we need through her majestic natural world. Air, trees, water, animals. We thank you for this day and for our school and all who dwell here. We ask for peace and gratitude to reign in the hearts of our people and all the world. Okay, so that being said, my people always emphasize balance. And what I feel is that balance definitely speaks to thankfulness. In a sense, especially for our tribe, because we celebrate the harvest, and we still do. We still do a lot of growing in-house, and there's still a lot of farming going on. So we give thanks whether we have good harvest or a poor harvest. And that makes me think of everyday life. We should give thanks whether our day is going well or whether it's not going well. Because when we have an attitude of gratitude, when we have a lifestyle of thanksgiving, that's where we project that positive energy. And we want to put that positive energy out there so that we not only affect ourselves, but we affect those around us. So that's my thought for this Thanksgiving, is that we should continue to have an attitude of gratitude, an attitude and a lifestyle of Thanksgiving, so that we can make a change in our world. Which reminds me of Gandhi, when he said, you need to be the change you want to see in the world. Well, I believe in order to do that, we need to be the change within ourselves first. That's my blessing for you guys today. Stay clean, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Good morning. I guess it's a little bit of serendipity this morning, because this song that I wrote is called Thankfulness. We didn't know that. Right? Not for our
What do people normally think of when they think of Thanksgiving? Turkey, stuffing, pie. But we should think of family, of giving thanks for the things that we have. Thanksgiving is the one day a year where people take some time to take a step out of their own lives and appreciate everything that we have, everything we are given, and the people in our lives that help us in the day. This appreciation is the most important part of the holiday. Although the festivities are fun, they are not what the holiday is about. Thanksgiving, like it so clearly states in the name, is about giving thanks.
On Thanksgiving, we play football for some time on my Nana's big green field. We play for at least 2 hours. We play pass with the football, then we go inside and play some foosball and table tennis. Then when we have a big family dinner with a turkey, pork roast, and other good stuff, then we sit down and have fun with my baby cousin. We then go on a walk down to the park and we play basketball. We also play foursquare. When we walk back, it's time for dessert. And I grab some berry pie with ice cream on top. That's my Thanksgiving.
My favorite Thanksgiving tradition is having fajitas for dinner. In my family, we make our own fajitas with chicken, steak, tomatoes, sour cream, peppers, salsa, cheese, lettuce, and even more. Even though we don't have traditional turkey and stuffing, my mom still makes her famous mashed potatoes, with enough leftovers to last us at least a week. We all sit down together at the table covered in food and say one thing we're all thankful for. Sometimes I say friends, family, or school. Then we eat. It doesn't matter that we don't have traditional food as long as I have family. And after the big meal, we sit down to watch the big game, my favorite part of the day. It's not tradition or fajitas or mom's mashed potatoes that make it the best. It's family and football.
Picking out my favorite thing about Thanksgiving has always been a difficult task for me. The combination of family, friends, and food. There's so many great things about the holiday that it's almost too much to fathom. Besides the amazing feast in the evening, my most anticipated Thanksgiving event would have to be the Thanksgiving Day Parade. By the time it comes on in the morning, my family has already been at work cooking and preparing for our dinner guests for a few hours. But then, when the parade begins, we all stop to watch the beginning, with the singing, dancing, the parade floats, and the acrobats. And as it goes on, we have to get back up to resume what we were doing before it came on. But the parade really takes the boring out of cleaning, if you're still listening, and is amazing overall. The point is, the show lets everyone in my family who has come together to celebrate the holiday pause in our preparations and realize what Thanksgiving is really about. Loving your relatives and having a good time together as you appreciate all the great things in life.
all the middle schoolers who spoke, and Mr. Martinez and Mrs. Clarke. What a great chapel. Thank you to all of you. Last week, some of us watched as the kindergarten and early childhood classes reenacted the traditional story of Thanksgiving. A great ship sailed into the Commons, where it was met by a friendly group of, well, tiny Native Americans who were gathered around a campfire. The campfire was made of a Coleman lamp covered with tissue paper, red and orange and yellow. The children's program was filled with all of the symbols of Thanksgiving, including a turkey who was hoping to avoid being someone's dinner. When I was little, we often spent Thanksgiving with my maternal grandparents in Brooklyn, a big, noisy family in a small apartment just a block from the boardwalk and the Atlantic Ocean. It was a big change for a little girl accustomed to the quiet of living in Loudonville. There were at least 30 of us overflowing makeshift tables crowded into 3 small overheated rooms, aunts and uncles and cousins everywhere. It was sort of chaotic, but it was wonderful fun for all of us. And as little kids, we were appropriately oblivious to the more adult problems in the family and in the world. These Brooklyn holidays were hardly picture perfect, home and garden Thanksgiving celebrations, but in their imperfection, there was much to love. And my guess is that many of us have Thanksgiving celebrations that don't look like a typical, whatever that may be, all-American, normal Norman Rockwell image of the holiday. Most of us grew up with iconic images of pilgrims and Indians making friends over a shared meal in the wilderness and happy traditional families gathered around the table for Thanksgiving dinner. As we grow older, politics and sophistication and news that often disheartens us can take away some of the sheen from those old pictures, and our own Thanksgiving experiences, year by year, overlay different images. Some wonderful, some surreal, some sad, some bittersweet. Today we gather, not in individual families, but as a community, to give thanks, not in the wilderness and not in a crowded apartment in Brooklyn, but in a school that, like those images of pilgrims and Indians, stands for so much more than what we can see. At this holiday, in a world in which division and hatred among people who are different seems to grow stronger every day, I am ever more grateful for a place such as Joan Stewart, which offers us the opportunity of coming together to understand and respect difference, to act in ways that will make our community, our families, and the world a better place, and to appreciate together all that we're so fortunate to have and all that we're fortunate to be able to share. Amen. Please rise.